Hey everyone, I just wanted to talk to you today a little bit about Suikoden here on the PS1. Now, I haven't played a PS1 role-playing game in a long time. Last week, I went hiking up Camelback Mountain, which is a local mountain here, and I blew out my calves because I'm a freaking old man now. So I was basically kind of unable to walk and in bed for this past week. And I got to thinking, well, what can I do to pass the time? And I said, hey, I should break out an old PS1 JRPG again. So I looked through my collection, and I remember BioArmor was talking about Suikoden not too long ago, so that's what I grabbed. I grabbed an old copy of Suikoden, which I had never played before, and I spent this last week playing it. Now, back then, I was a big JRPG fan, but it wasn't until Final Fantasy VII came out that I actually bought a PlayStation. And, Final Fantasy VII was like the JRPG that just blew everything else out of the water at the time. So, for whatever reason, I just totally missed out on this one. That might have been because it came a year before Final Fantasy VII. But, even at the time, I didn't really hear too much about this game, and, I just never got it. So, this last week I've been playing it. Probably took me a good 35 hours to finish it, but I had some fun with it. Now, I gotta say, it's not the, greatest experience of JRPGs I've ever played, but it is a solid game. That I will say, and it did go on to spawn many sequels too. I think it got up to Suikoden 5 before it just kind of petered out as a series. But the game itself, comes in this case, which looks like it's 2 discs, but actually, when you open it, it just has the 1 disc inside. The first compartment's just for the manual. And the manual's, it's okay. It's black and white, nothing fancy. But it tells you, all the basics you need to know and everything. And in the second compartment, you get the disc. So it's not like a extensive JRPG, this was before they started doing all the cinematics and everything on all the games. So it's just, one disc game, and as far as the story goes, you basically play as. Well, actually, you can't see him on the English cover here, but on the manual, I believe they actually have This is like what the Japanese cover looks like, and you're playing as this fellow here, and he's the main character. But when you first start the game, he's like the son of a general, and it turns out the emperor that the general works for is becoming evil, it seems, and he's got some strange things going on in the kingdom. And certain events go on, and basically your main character is kind of forced out of the empire and goes rogue. And for the rest of the game, you're kind of going around town to town to town, finding out what is exactly happening with the empire. And you're also gaining allies, and basically, by the end of the game, you're trying to build an army to go up against the Empire. So that's kind of the nitty-gritty of the storyline. Gameplay, it's pretty much traditional turn-based system. Nothing super special. The mechanics of it are very basic, I'd say. You got attacks. If you equip certain runes on your characters, they can do some limited magic. But you don't even have magic points. You're just kind of you've got a set amount of magic uses you can use before you have to go to an inn or whatever and rest again. But standard like leveling up, grinding, all that kind of stuff that you'd expect in an old JRPG, which is fun for me anyway. Especially when you're sick in bed, you got nothing else to do. A game like this is kind of like I would say like a palate cleanser for me, actually. Kind of like comfort food, I suppose, except it's a comfort game. Because, I've been playing these PS4 games and PS3 games, and there's just so much going on in them, and and they're so complicated, and you gotta, you know, be constantly, what you call it, you know, reflexive to everything that's going on in the game. With a game like this, you can just sit back, relax, you know. If you don't feel like doing combat, you know, completely spending all your energy on it, you can just, you know, do something else, and there's no twitching in the game, I guess. You know, you don't have to react to everything super fast. You can just relax with it. So that's kind of why I enjoy JRPGs in general. They're just kind of not as stressful as like an action game. But in terms of graphics, I'd say the graphics are probably the poorest thing in the game. I mean, I don't want to knock the game because, you know, it's an earlier title, but I'd say the graphics are not really that much above like a Super Nintendo graphics. I mean, they're a little better, and obviously you got better quality sound and everything from the CD. But it seems like a game like they were kind of making around the Super Nintendo era, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean it's bad, it just means it looks a little bit outdated. And, you know, same with the sound. I'd say actually the sound is good, but it's not got a whole lot of memorable tracks as far as I can really think about. You know, on the Final Fantasy games, you instantly recognize, oh, that's a Final Fantasy song, you know. But I don't think you really get much of that kind of thing in the Suikoden game. But I am looking forward to playing the other ones now because I had fun with this one. It'll probably be a while before I get to the second Suikoden game. But I just wanted to talk about it a little bit today. And if you guys have never played it, I would say it's a good, solid B+ JRPG for your PS1. And if you want it on eBay, I think it's kind of pricey these days. Yeah, you could probably pick up a copy between $30 and $50, I'd say. But, you know, if you find it cheaper, that's good for you. Anyways, hope you enjoy it. I'll see you later.